Your days are numbered, says Lands Cabinet Secretary Sakaja Njeru. That is his message to land grabbers and especially those with insatiable appetite to go for public land. So how then do we resolve the issues around land in this country that is Kenya? That is our conversation today on Business Glide, your go-to point on matters business and economics at large. I'm yours truly, Richard Mwenjem. Truly delighted to have you on board. Now to unpack this conversation and bring it to full reality and to your full knowledge is none other than Herman Manyora, East Africa's renowned public scholar. Welcome on set, sir.
Thank you.
How are you?
Wonderful.
Very well.
Yes.
Today, sir, we're talking matters the land ministry. And just like his counterparts, Moses Kuria and Susan Ahumicha, who've come forward and say they're going to put a stop to cartels in public service. Sakaja Njeru now says it is the end to those who have an appetite to grab public land. From where you sit as your footnote, we've seen, back-to-back warnings being issued by state officers. Do you say this one on land is one that has come in handy and at the right time?
It's just a joke. It's a joke.
Why though?
It's a joke coming from a joker.
Coming from a joker?
Yeah. The land issue in this country, you cannot just issue cheap decrees and... No.
Warnings.
The land issue is a complex issue. And even during the constitutional review, making process, we scattered around it.
Never into the nitty-gritties?
We didn't want to approach it. We didn't want to say how much land somebody can own as a very basic minimum. We said Parliament will do it. Which means this land of ours, people continue subdividing until you get to a point where none is left for agriculture. That was a very critical issue. And in terms of people who have acres upon acres or hectares of land, people who have thousands upon thousands of acres of land, some of them in hundreds of thousands of acres, which they are not even using, we are silent. That's why you must start with the bigger picture. And the question you must address is, what does land mean to a Kenyan? And change that mindset. Refocus the population. You know, because we will say we want to copy other countries that are successful in agriculture, food security, but they don't do the sort of stupid things we do with our land. Land ownership, land tenure system. You have to address that. But some cheap decrees from some cheap minister, it won't help anybody.
Now that you're referring to him as a chief minister, someone says...
These are cheap ministers. Because,
cheap ministers.
Yeah, they are not coming up with very serious interventions. Matters of land are serious.
Serious?
Friend. Very serious. That's why we got it wrong from independence. The question was, what do we do with the land the settler was living on? We have not answered that question. And therefore, grabbing became the order of the day. Secondly, I'm calling it cheap because that minister should be aware who owns this land, the vast tracts of land. There are people you can't even touch. Some of them are foreigners, those conservancies, those which have green pastures, as Samburu cows are dying next to the pastures. And we send GSU and the army to protect the absentee owners of those conservancies against Kenyans who watch as the animals die. It's a complex question.
A complex question.
The land question is too complex to be dealt with in some statement from some minister. You can't. It's complex.
You are referring to him as a chief minister.
No, chief not as a person. Sure. I'm just saying this issue is so complex.
True.
When a minister tries to address it, he can only be described as cheap.
Talking of which, on Twitter, on X, that is Igiri M says, when is the CS for Lands going to raid his office with a camera crew to sort out title deeds and other backlog issues? The other day we were having the conversation about management by walking around, that is
yeah.
Do you feel?
By the way, I'm from Nyayo House just now. I must commend the minister, Kindiki. At least there's some order. But even the Askaris were laughing with me. How long would it last? This is Mumbwa style. This order, by the way. You go to Nyayo now. I was order tents outside. Tent number 6, you were there. Passport is brought. Yeah, this serious order. But the problem with this kind of approach, it is not sustainable.
Not sustainable?
You have not addressed the issue why there were crowds there in the first place. Why brokers are there. So it amounts to cheapness.
But in the recent past, we saw blame squarely being put at the doorstep of there being lacking the digitization of the lands registry. Yes. Now it has been onboarded. We saw the digitization of the land registry under CS Farida Karone. Would you then say that is just a piece, a drop in the ocean? There are so many other
you find yourself with a land problem is when you know there's no order there. Just land yourself a small problem.
You can camp at Athi House for days?
Days or years. It's not easy. These
It
things
isn't.
are complex. And the cartels who specialize in double selling land and taking land belonging to poor people, like I have a case in Ngong, where somebody is rich, is encroaching. You can see the boundary has been changed, the new map. I've been trying to get the old map for this poor family. Crooked people have hidden the maps. It is not easy. The rich will continue making the poor suffer.
A new system.
And they are the ones who will make sure order is not established. When Charity Ngilu was trying to establish order at the house, before Farida Karone, the biggest challenge came from those brokers. Because if you establish order in the land registry, how will they eat? How will they make their money? How will they sell other people's land? How will they make it difficult for people to renew their leases? And thereafter they grab them. So they are the ones who want this order to benefit from the same.
To benefit from the same.
Yeah.
Talking of which, anytime you're looking at cleansing the lands ministry and you're looking at the list of land grabbers, you will find a name or two of state officers, high-level state executives, which begs the question, these people who are appointed into office, there is quite good remuneration on their side and the other perks they benefit from them. But does it has to be that the land is one of the most easiest conduit for them to expedite their graft?
That's it. It's easier. Because I told you, the mindset of the Kenyan, what is land? Okay, there is the sentimental value of land, the cultural value, and so on and so
Prestige,
forth, the social. But outside the person from my village, to whom that small piece of land, perhaps an eighth of it, means everything. That's where the grave of the grandfather is, the grave of the mother is, that sentimental value.
True.
There is a bigger thief in this country who thinks the only way to define your success is by how many acres of land you have. So we must tell them no. Land is not elastic. There's just so much land. If we want to have sufficient food, we must have policies in place that control land ownership, land tenure system. And you can tell you, okay, fine, since you are grabbers and you love land, we shall leave it to be yours. But you will have to use it. If you don't use it, we'll tax you. So long as you have people who have trucks and trucks of land, which they don't even use, you'll continue dying of hunger in this country. So say, yes, you have 100,000 acres. We may not want to go into how you got, because if we go, surely you cannot explain how you got. So let's leave that up first. But first of all, every year we want you to utilize a certain percentage of that land, active utilization. If it's a wheat growing area, maize growing area, we want to see at least 80% of that land. If you don't do that, we shall tax you.
Very well.
So if you are not a farmer, look, we live in a country where people buy land and they are not farmers. Why do you need 30 acres of land? You are not a farmer.
Speculative purposes.
Yeah, it's actually just stupid. So all of us in Manyora included, that stupid way of looking at land, we must erase it from our mind. Land as a sign of success, social standing,
Prestige.
we must remove that from our stupid heads. Then we say land is for you to be utilized for the sake of the generations now and generations to come. So if you don't want to become a farmer, what are you doing with land? That question we must now begin to ask as Kenyans.
Sure.
How many middle class people and slightly those who have access to money, well, may buy back government, do you know how much money they buy? It's buildings and land. We don't even tax those houses. We are taxing small people. Now I hear we have hired
revenue assistants.
these boys in uniform,
Yeah.
who I interacted with. They don't even know what they are doing. Instead of saying, let us map all buildings in Nairobi with the technology today, we map every single building in Nairobi and give it a number and an owner and tax them.
And that's it.
You'll find people who steal money, if they are working with KRA or wherever they are, they will no longer be buying houses, because we shall know they have stolen our money, and we shall also tax, and some we shall repossess. Waende kwa mashamba. Wakifika kwa mashamba, if you are transferring a piece of land, you must give us a plan of use, to which you must stick to it. You bought 50 acres, fine. Let's not even go into how you got money to buy 50. That is a story for another day.
True.
This 50, you want yours, yes. Manyora is selling you, fine. You pay him. But before we give you the transfer, give us a plan for this land.
Maybe a
That's why I'm saying this is cheapness from this minister. This cheapness. Come up with serious thinking. You want 50 acres, is yours, yes. You are paid for it, yes. Before we transfer it to your name, give us a plan for use.
If it's a conservancy,
Yes.
say it is.
What do you want to use it for? And stick to the plan. If you want to make amendments, go to the right office and change the plan. But if you want to use it for maize growing, we shall allow you to keep this land so long as every year you have this land under maize plantation to a minimum of 80% or 70%, whatever percentage. Watu watakimbilia kununua hizo mashamba for prestige. Why do you want to buy let me give you another example, a good example.
Sure.
Some years back we used to pay what they were calling, what? Is it road what? Road something. Road license. So with a road license. So now, road license was every year. Small vehicles, big vehicles. You pay a license for it. 5,000, 3,000. Now, if you have 7 vehicles in your compound, you don't use them, for which you pay road license. That used to force people to sell vehicles. Unabaki na ile unatumia. Because hata kama hii kwamba this one which is not moving, you are supposed to pay road license for your vehicle. Maybe you use just once. So people would record, this is a vehicle I rarely use. And so they would sell the vehicles. Same with the land. If people are going to pay tax on land because it is idle, they will let go the land. And the person who gets that land may put that land under use.
Very well.
You see, so that's what I'm saying. When I say cheap, I'm not insulting anybody.
True.
I'm just saying cheap as opposed to serious thinking. This country requires serious thinking matters land. In some countries, which we are trying to emulate, let's go to a place like Transmara. Let's say we have 10 million acres of land, just for example. Okay, let's say maybe 1 million acres of land. So what they do, the people around there, out of the 1 million acres of land, you get like 50,000 acres of land. People come and live on those 50. They give them title. Hii ni yako, eka mbili mbili ama moja moja, you can grow your vegetable, your what, and put on your house, you get a what? That proposal was contained in the Kenya Kwanza Manifesto and is on this housing thing. You get a title for that bit. But the rest, 950,000 acres, is for agriculture.
Straight away.
Yes. Either you go there and you are given your 10 acres to what, or you are in groups, but the entire land is for production. Na watu wanaishi hapa. In Tanzania we are what they are calling vijiji vya ujamaa. So people in a certain area stay together in a sort of village, vijiji vya ujamaa, leaving land for
maximum productivity.
Yes. But here we just want to laugh and think and walk and talk big and cheap about land, grabbing. What are you talking about? You must go to the root of the problem. Why do we have this problem? Why did our founding fathers fall into the trap of primitive accumulation?
That is the question.
Yeah, getting thousands upon thousands of acres of land, which they don't even need. That's how so
very well noted, sir. Before we bring the show to a wrap, now that the CS is talking about sending land grabbers to the prisons Taylor for their measurements to be taken,
yes,
that particular conversation, are you supporting that it should start from the highest office in the land, that is from the president, the fight against land grabbers?
I've just said the land issue cannot be addressed piecemeal. No. However well-meaning, however serious you are, you will not go far. We have to look at the land question in this country, not in isolation, no. Very comprehensively, beginning with independence. Where did we go wrong?
Sure.
How come people who fought for independence and died for land, they never got? The home guards
Musa Mwariama's family
ended up picking all the land for which people died. Unless we ask these uncomfortable questions, as a people, we will have to answer these things in a very terrible way.
In the fullness of time.
This question will be answered.
People will ask it someday.
Let me give you an example. We are pushing the Maasai. Willing buyer,
Willing seller.
willing buyer, willing buyer, willing.
Seller.
And we are laughing and smiling. And the Maasai will get to the border of Tanzania. They will come back.
You want our Kajiado?
Oh, they will come back. Because these are the things I'm calling cheap and stupid. Willing buyer, willing seller. Willing buyer. So mnasukuma tu Maasai, and they are not benefiting from modern civilization. They are not benefiting from education. You are not turning them into a money economy.
True.
Their children are not getting education to fit in the modern world with jobs. You are just buying land,
Taita Taveta.
and pushing them to the border. Mutatoka kwa hizi manyumba. I'm telling you.
There you have it from Herman Manyora talking matters, the land question in this country, and the conversations that we need to have as a country with regards to the land issues. That has been our conversation today. Time now for our fan of the week. It is this amazing gentleman from Zimbabwe, Elias Janji.
The land of Munagangwa.
True.
Elias
Janji.
Nza?
Janji.
Janji.
Yeah.
They are very beautiful names.
He's working with Zimbabwe Energy Regulatory Authority, and he said he's going to visit us first week of October.
Oh, wonderful. Welcome. Wonderful.
Wonderful.
And thank you for being part of the family.
They are coming for benchmarking at EPRA.
EPRA.
Yeah.
They are also doing benchmarking.
True. He said he's going to come and meet you in person.
Thank you.
All right, asanteni sana. If you want to be our fan of the week, slide on my DM on X, that is at Mwenje Richard. Send us your location and your name. Definitely will grace the subsequent editions on Business Glide. Until next time, enjoy the rest of your day.